Breaking news this morning, the Morenci County Police and the FBI are about to give a daily briefing in the search for 3 missing brothers.
Yeah, the boys were last seen on Thanksgiving. Let's go to the command center in Morenci for the latest.
Support we're receiving from them and that they're here on scene helping us out. Today I have Ron Locke, supervisory special agent. He's working with me, directly working with me here at the command post, supervising all the federal resources on site. Unfortunately, they couldn't be here, but I definitely want to recognize William County Sheriff Kevin Beck and Fulton County Sheriff Daryl Marilat. We have sent a lot of people into their territory. They've been very kind and generous in supporting our operations and working with us and allowing us to do what we can do or what we need to do in their areas, and they continue to do that as we speak. Also have Illinois County Sheriff Jack Welsh here with us, and we're providing resources from his agency, and Lieutenant Cuevas from the Michigan State Police. There's been information that has developed since last we spoke that based on the information that we have, we do not anticipate a positive outcome here. The media information I have that will be disseminated, unfortunately, I walked out of my office with it at this time, but we have the email blast for the press here that will be going out. Includes a photograph of the boy's father, John Skelton, and the vehicle information that's already previously been released. We are asking that, again, that anyone has seen that vehicle. We have the vehicle, I think is an important note to clarify. Some of the media indicated we were looking to locate it, and that was not accurate. We have the vehicle in our possession. It is our desire to seek tips or support from the community on if they've seen the vehicle. John or Andrew, Tanner, and Alexander in the areas previously identified, the Morenci area down through into West Unity, Ohio, Holiday City, Ohio, Kunkel, Ohio area. So I would appreciate any of those tips coming in. The number continues to be the same, 517-458-7104 to the Morenci Police Department, and we'd be glad to take those tips and we continue to follow up on them. I'll take a couple questions.
Chief, why do you say it doesn't look like it's going to be a positive outcome? What are you using, what is the basis to draw that conclusion?
We've continued to talk to virtually all parties involved in this investigation, including Mr. Skelton. Statements that he's made to investigators would indicate that it's not going to be a positive outcome.
Has he admitted
what is he saying,
killed his own kids? What is he saying or not saying or indicating to you?
Because it's an ongoing fluid situation, that information is really not going to be available to the public at this time.
With the information that you have right now, are you, at this point, can we expect some sort of criminal charges to come down to?
Those are decisions that are ongoing this morning. Those are critical decisions that we as a team will evaluate and ultimately make a decision on how we're going to proceed. And certainly you'll be made aware of that when the time is appropriate.
Have you asked John where the bodies are?
We have asked a number of people where the 3 boys are at, and obviously to this point we have not able to locate them.
Is he refusing to answer that question?
He's been forthcoming with some information, the credibility of which we cannot verify at this time. So we certainly would be hopeful that he or whoever knows where they're at would come forward.
Do you think someone else is involved?
Well, as I've said all along from the beginning, it's not my desire to eliminate any potential options until we have the boys back in our possession.
Has he sent you to locations that haven't panned out?
We have searched a number of locations in connection with evidence and information we've collected from all sorts of resources, including sources from him.
How will this affect your search today, Chief? And what will we be concentrating on?
We will be searching a number of different areas today based on tips that are collected, based on potential locations the boys had been or frequented, family activities, events, And we have a number of resources here that we are going to try to implement and move about the areas that we want to search as quickly as possible, and we'll continue to do that indefinitely at this point until I direct otherwise.
What's the mother's reaction to this news this morning?
Well, I guess my response to that would be that imagine your worst nightmare come true. How would you respond?
Have you been able to, I mean, this is a small, very tight-knit town. You yourself knew this family and the children. How are they dealing with this? Have they learned this information?
They were notified earlier of it, and they're aware of it. And as I said to the other gentleman, and they're responding as if, as you would think they would respond.
Notified this morning, last night?
Recently, they were notified.
How frustrating is it for you that he's not telling you who your boys are?
To me, I can't even express a response to that question.
Can you characterize, though, what he is telling you, and is it forcing you all to kind of fill in the blanks?
I'm not going to comment on any additional information that he provided to us. Thank you for your time today. The intention is to have another briefing at 11 o'clock tomorrow unless breaking news exists. You'll be getting the media release as quickly as possible with the updated photograph of John. And thank you for your time.
You've been listening to the Morenci Police Chief just with such sad news this morning. He says from information they have from interviews with the father, John Skelton, of those 3 missing boys, that they do not anticipate a positive outcome in this case for the 3 boys.
And of course asked when if they're going to give some sort of charges or not to the father, obviously saying this is ongoing. And you can see by the look on the police chief's face there from Morenci County, I mean, he just was in disbelief that he could get any more information from the father on the whereabouts of these, what he is pretty much describing as the 3 bodies of these 3 missing boys.
And based on information that father, John Skelton, gave officials yesterday, they searched a number of areas. Clearly his story has been changing because in the areas they looked, they found no bodies. They did mention that they will be searching a number of locations again today. I believe some different ones, some of that based on information also provided by John Skelton. But the one thing they are asking the public for is still, if you saw that van, they have the van, but the question is the minivan, where was it? And if someone saw it in a certain area from Thanksgiving until that Friday, that you get in touch with Morenci Police to let them know.
Yeah, Friday morning between 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. to be specific on that. Another interesting point that he brought up too is that he's asking anybody to come forward with information, maybe suggesting that there were multiple people involved in the situation.
He wouldn't rule that out. And asked if the mom had been notified. Well, he'd never actually said the boys are dead when he said it's the worst outcome or they don't anticipate a good outcome. When asked that the mom was told today, she said it was the worst nightmare come true, was how he described that. So.
And we will continue to follow this story with Team 7 coverage at noon. We will continue to follow it on air and online at WXYZ.com.